Dr. Lebogang Maile is visiting the Alexandra Township organic Market Informal settlement following a fire that burnt down a number of shacks, and some 20 families have been displaced. Our SABC News reporter Hasina Gori, who is following the story, will be joining us shortly, and and to tell us the MEC whether the MEC has arrived or not. Now, the issue of the informal settlements has been quite a thorny issue, particularly for the Department of Human Settlements, as the department has made an appeal to all farm owners and all property owners to stop evictions, at least for the duration of this lockdown. But we've seen so many of farm owners and property owners, especially in the Western Cape, and some of the residents in the Western Cape taking to the High Court, and the High Court and ruling in their favor that they should return to their homes up until the lockdown has been over. And it's quite interesting that these farm owners or the property owners have been disregarding the department's advice that they should stop evictions. We've also saw the Red Ants, in Innerdale in south of Johannesburg, also evicting some residents there, and very much against what the minister and the ministry and the department has directed, that they should hold all evictions. Now, Hasina Gori, my colleague, is ready now, and we cross over to her. Hasina, a very good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Do tell us what's happening where you are.
We are currently here in Alexandra, north of Johannesburg, where on Thursday night, at least 10 informal settlements here burnt down in what is called a shack fire, and at least 20 other families were displaced. We're here today with the MEC for housing as well as the MMC here. As you can see behind me, they are busy trying to rebuild this community after that fire ravished in the area. They're also bringing in donations to help those families that have been displaced. As you know, in a time when we are in lockdown and many are supposed to be in their homes, we expected to hear from the MEC as well. He came here today to get a sense of the impact that this has had on the community. We also heard from the emergency services earlier today, calling on people to be careful during this time. To know it is colder weather at the moment, and that to ensure that they keep themselves safe during this time, and to make sure that we don't see these fires, spurring through other informal settlements.
Now, Hasina, do we know at this point whether there is a contingency emergency plan to accommodate all those who lost their homes there?
What we know is right now that building materials are being brought into the area to help rebuild these structures, to make sure that people do have a place to stay and that they are, sheltered during this time.
So in the process of rebuilding their homes, where are they staying now?
Many have still been kept here, staying with other people. We saw them here today, trying to now come back and build. I'm going to just ask my camera person to just pan for you so you can have a look and see that rebuilding process. Many who said they were staying with neighbors, coming inside. This goes against that social distancing. But what are we going to try and do is get the MEC to come through now and just speak to us on the processes that have been done and what kind of contingency plans have been made for this. He's about to come in a few moments to just come and just talk us through this process and just explain what's happening here. We're just waiting for him to come in now, and then we'll just... Thank you so much for speaking to us, MEC. Can you just give us a sense? We're here today. Those that have been displaced, where have they been staying? Let's start there.
Well, I want to start by thanking the disaster management centers, both the province and city, and to also thank the city and the NGOs that have responded promptly to the unfortunate incident that took place. We can confirm that no one is injured. There's no incident reported in that regard. But we can also confirm that all the affected families, about 7, have been given the necessary amenities that they need, like food and mattresses. And the city has already appointed a service provider to rebuild their shacks. And we want to thank the city for acting decisively and quickly, because during these difficult times of COVID-19, we have to be agile as government, and we have to move with speed and ensure that whenever unfortunate incidences like this one occurs, we act decisively.
Talking about unfortunate incidences, you went to the High Court to have those being evicted stopped. What was the response with that? And we're still seeing people being evicted from their homes.
No one is being evicted. I think I must put this on record. I spoke to the mayor today. No one is being evicted, and no one is going to be evicted during the lockdown period. So that must be stated categorically. No one has been evicted. However, there are criminal elements who are trying to invade land illegally. As we speak now, because I just spoke to the mayor, that illegal activity is taking place. We can't say because it's a lockdown and we're dealing with COVID-19, we're going to allow people to do that. What the city has been doing, and they've got our support, and we want to urge all other cities to do, is to counter land invasion. There is no eviction of anybody, and we must state categorically, as the provincial government and the city of Johannesburg, that no one is going to be evicted during this lockdown period. However, anybody who tries to take chances and invade land, we are going to act decisively against those people. We are not going to let that criminal activities take place.
Thank you so much. That was the MEC speaking to us here in the north of Johannesburg, Alexandra, where at least 10 shacks burnt down and at least 20 families have been affected. As you heard from him, they are in the process of rebuilding these structures and ensuring that all the families are now taken care of and have a place to stay, especially as we enter the last few weeks of our current lockdown.
All right, Hasina, thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated. That was my colleague there, Hasina Gori, speaking to us live from the Organic Market Informal Settlement in Alexandra. And as we've just seen there, he just spoke to the MEC for Human Settlements, Urban Planning and COGTA, Lebogang Maile, who shared with us the department's plan of accommodating the 20 families that have been affected by the loss of their homes. Well, this wraps up today's edition of the agenda on SABC News. And shortly after the break, we'll have SA Today. Thank you so much for watching.